6:47 in today's Sunrise Smart Start for this Wednesday. New this morning, a call for shots fired and a car shot up in Rochester. That happened around 10:30 last night. Officers responded on the east end to Alexander Street just south of University for shots heard in the area. A parked car was hit. Police tell us they learned a possible suspect may have been holed up in an apartment, which they say turned out not to be the case. They do tell us this was a domestic issue among family members. RPD is still investigating. In the Finger Lakes, a 5-year-old girl from Seneca County is dead after getting stuck in a piece of farming equipment. This happened in Ovid Monday afternoon. The sheriff's office says when deputies arrived, the girl was being taken out of the machine and was rushed to the hospital. She died due to massive trauma from the accident. Deputies are working with CPS on that investigation. 4 people hospitalized following a crash in Victor. It happened yesterday afternoon on Route 96. Deputies say 34-year-old Kevin Cole ran a red light, hit an SUV, and inside that vehicle, a 50-year-old woman and 2 children, a 9 and a 12-year-old, were seriously injured. They are expected to survive. Cole, though, remains in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. To Albany, 55 officers honored for their bravery and sacrifice made to their communities. Among them, fallen RPD officer Anthony Mazurkowitz. He was shot and killed in an ambush last July in the line of duty. More than 1,700 names of officers are etched in the memorial at the Empire State Plaza. At the New York State Police Officers Memorial Remembrance Ceremony, the governor dedicated May 9th, yesterday, as Police Memorial Day. Rochester's Board of Education has passed the new budget for the upcoming fiscal year. It is more than $1 billion in total. The budget does come with some federal stimulus funds included. There will be investments in school safety, instruction, mental health services, among other items. School leaders say the budget signals a commitment to students, families, and staff. Some members of the Monroe County Legislature say they're working to ensure equal employment opportunities for previously incarcerated individuals applying for jobs at the county level. The Fair Chance Employment Act follows a recommendation from the Racial and Structural Equality Commission, which reviewed city and county policies for inequity. The report determined Monroe County needed to change hiring practices. The Ledge president, Sabrina Lamar, says this will do just that.
Once they pay their debt to society, it should be paid. It should just be paid. And they need to get a clean start so they can live viable lives in our community.
Lamar adds this will help erase the stigma surrounding a criminal record. She also says the legislation would stop county departments from asking questions regarding an applicant's criminal history. 250 new jobs on the way from Monroe County. State officials announced those plans for Coca-Cola to build a $650 million fairlife production plant on the east side of Webster off Tibor Road. Coca-Cola has been partnered with fairlife, a milk product brand, since it launched in 2012, taking over the company in 2020. The Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce says this will be a huge benefit for the region.
If you look over time, Xerox has downsized quite a bit substantially in the town of Webster. So this is a great shot in the arm for new jobs coming in to people that certainly who live in Webster or can get there very quickly. It'll be a great employment sector out there.
As for what's next, you see the site is empty. The construction begins this fall. Production from the plant should start sometime in 2025. A federal jury here in New York found former President Donald Trump liable for sex abuse and defamation in a civil case brought by advice columnist E. Jean Carroll. Jurors did reject Carroll's claim that she was raped. The former writer for Elle magazine, though, was awarded $5 million in damages in the case. Trump posted a video on social media calling the verdict a disgrace. 9 minutes to go until 7 o'clock this Wednesday morning. Let's check that forecast with meteorologist James Gilbert. Nice and cool out to start the day, and then we have a warm-up this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. So I think both times are good for a bike ride. Just know that maybe long sleeve this morning with temperatures around the 40-degree mark. Some spots in the upper 30s, but we're getting into the 40s through the next hour or two. But by noontime, we'll already be at 60, and then eyeing 70 degrees later today. Looks like Honey Falls could get there 71 for an afternoon high. And I think the lake breeze really only just right along the lake shore with this stale air that we've got. Naples, you're getting to 69 later today. We'll give you 70 in noonday this afternoon. We'll have a look at the full forecast, the 8-day forecast at the end of the show. Brendan?
All right, thank you, James. When it comes to traffic this morning, right now, another heads up. The County Water Authority team is working a water main break issue in front of State State Street in Pittsford. Traffic has been cut down to one lane on State between Main and South. Crews are there working to clean everything up. Drivers still asked to avoid that area passing through the middle of Pittsford. You can use Church Street as an alternate route. As we take a look at the bigger picture on the map this morning for your sunrise traffic, that's the only thing popping up at this point. The good news on the main expressways, everything at speed, you're good to go. We'll check your morning drive again coming up at about 7:25. There's been debate about when women should start getting mammograms and how often. And a key group is proposing a big change to breast cancer screening recommendations. Going back to 2009, the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force controversially advised against routine mammograms for women in their 40s and instead told them to make a decision case by case, just by individual. The team is changing that, recommending women at average risk for breast cancer get mammograms every other year starting at age 40. The new guidelines, though, are not for women considered at high risk for breast cancer. Rochester Regional Health is recognizing nurses for all the work they do on the front lines every day and also emphasizing training for what is Nurses Appreciation Week happening now. Jatira Marsh joins us in the studio with that story. Jatira.
Brennan, this week, the Rochester General College of Health Career is highlighting its efforts of helping aspiring nurses enter the field to pursue their dreams through training. Nurses learn about identifying patient problems, providing safe and quality patient care, and most importantly, function as advocates for individuals and families. Associate Professor Matthew Klepetsky says now is the best time to do so.
We do have a number of different programs here, that the average age for nurses is somewhere in the 50s. And as a result, we do have, many who are leaving the field through retirement, a well-earned retirement, and we are basically bringing up the next generation of nurses to not only fill those slots, but also to recognize that as science and technology advance, the skills that are needed to be able to bring to bear during an illness also need to advance.
Klepetsky says they train about 300 members of their nursing staff each year. Brennan, back to you. All
right, Jatira, thanks. An important message here for kids in Rochester. Real Men Read. That's the title of an initiative taking place at Volunteers of America Children's Center off Lake Avenue. The goal here is to show kids 3 to 4 years old the value of reading early on and learning early on. Organizers say it's about building relationships. Mayor Malik Evans among those readers for them yesterday. St. John Fisher University and the team at Nazareth are coming together for a head-to-head or a beak-to-beak competition. We'll show you that. The mascots from the two schools picked up the golf clubs at Oak Hill and went out on the course raising awareness and money for PGA Reach of Western New York, a charity foundation that works to expand access to golf for kids, military members, and underrepresented groups in the community. Want to point out they were at Oak Hill's West Course. The East is the host of the PGA Championship next week.
Yeah, no one's touching that one.
No, but good for them in the mascot costumes. The outfits being able to see that and hit a drive.
St. John Fisher's mascot, a lefty, it looks like.
Yeah, he got that as they were lined up. Man, even the West Course looks in great condition too.
Right.
Pristine.
Doing the final touches really this week before the tournament.
Yes, they are getting there. We've seen some of the pros getting an early look at the course, and more will be arriving over the next couple of days.
I can imagine there's no real rules on when you can show up, right?
No, it's usually from the course. They call ahead. You'll see them here and there.
Yeah.
What was it? Phil Mickelson was here, Patrick Reed, and we'll see some scatter around before everyone's here for practice rounds Monday, Tuesday.
Awesome, good stuff. The excitement is real. Excitement for Lilac Festival kicks off on Friday. The weather could not be better. Picture perfect, upper 70s by then. And then Mother's Day weekend. I think we've got plans for Mother's Day both Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Lots of mothers in the family. Some grilling Saturday. Sunday brunch looks great as well.
The brunch outside. Looking forward to that. Thank you, James. Thanks for watching us this Wednesday at sunrise. We'll see you back here in half an hour. CBS Mornings next.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.